Megan, why don't you tell us a little bit about H.I.R.E, the hub for, go ahead.
Yes, our big old long name. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. Our full name is the Hub for Integration, Reentry, and Employment. We're a nonprofit organization located here in Orange County. Actually, as of this week, we are 5 years strong and growing very quickly. Thank you. Starting in a pandemic was an exciting thing to do. But essentially, the purpose of our organization is to bridge gaps between the carceral system and employment. So what we do is we work with individuals coming out of the system and really try to get them the skills, opportunities, and support so that way they're going to be successful and within the workplace. And so we do that through employment readiness, employment placement, mentorship, and community building. And so, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So there's some exciting news. There's some building happening here in Orange County. And with that said, I'd like you to tell us why here in Orange County and what you're building.
Yes, very exciting stuff going on right now. Again, talking about running straight up a mountain from coming out of the pandemic here. In partnership with the County of Orange, we are developing Orange County's very first Workforce Reentry Training Facility. This innovative facility, it's going to be at the location of the old animal shelter in the city of Orange. So if you guys have started to see the fence go up and some demolition happen, that's us working with the County of Orange. This property is just under 5 acres, and it's going to be pretty much a one-stop shop for people coming out of the system. So we have 3 main focuses on campus. We have our programming, where people are going to get hands-on skills training in 13 different training tracks. So everything from administrative to facilities, marketing, culinary, pretty much you name it. And then we also have housing. So we're having 54 transitional beds. So for individuals who are coming out, and it's kind of that stopgap for them to not go back into the streets. And then our kind of main building is our culinary training / commercial retail operations. So we are opening up social enterprises, which will consist of a cafe, a bakery, dog training, dog grooming, martial arts, and other retail kiosk stuff. So that is estimated to be open in early 2028. We're actually opening a interim facility here in a couple weeks in the city of Orange. So we would love for you guys to come by and visit us as well. But yeah, lots of exciting things happening. So very huge project coming, and will be a focal point for the county. And obviously, as it's really important is because Orange County currently doesn't have a centralized place that connects reentry and employment. So this is a place that employers, partners, government agencies, everybody can come collaborate, work together. We have a health center, a food bank, a gym, like you name it. It's literally my dream project here. So we're really excited that's coming up.
Well, you gave me some really interesting information initially when we met several months ago for the second time. We met pre-pandemic and then met up again right after when all of this wonderful projects started happening. There are some statistics that really were surprising, like this kind of facility in Orange County. Why don't you share that with the group?
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's a big question we always get in Orange County, right? Like when we think of Orange County, we think of the beaches and Disneyland and tourism and everything else. What most people don't think of is that Orange County is in the top 10 jail capacity systems in the entire United States. So we annually release around 50,000 people from our jails back into our community every single year. That's not including people coming back from prison, from, other counties, local areas, anything like that. 1 in 3 people in the entire United States have some sort of criminal involvement. So, I mean, even look at this room, right? Like how many people are in here? 1 in 3 is a pretty outstanding number. So annually, people coming out of incarceration, generally within 1 year of release, around 60% are still unemployed. So these are people who are becoming homeless. These are people going back to what they know, which is crime. They're stuck in poverty. It's affecting their kids generationally. Annually, if these people are not employed, it takes $78 to $87 billion GDP out of our GDP for the nation as well. So it's extremely important to get these people a level footing, get them into the services support that they need, and so that way they are successful.
So the 1 in 3 here. So tell us a little bit about your client base and how they learn about your organization and who they are, so we can put a face to the names.
Yeah, definitely. So we are kind of a catch-all in the community as well. So we work with all ages and all conviction types. So last year, our ages ranged from 15 to 76. So as you can imagine, that they have very different needs walking through the door. We work with all conviction types as well. So we have people who maybe have a DUI, right, or a minor misdemeanor, or they may have a more serious conviction or felony. A lot of our people have made mistakes as a youth and served their time and are coming out, and now the deck is stacked against them, right? So economically, socially, housing, et cetera, it's really hard for them to get ahead. We have people that have advanced degrees, master's degrees, have professional, decades of experience and did some sort of whoopsie in their life, right? And are now looking to either start over or transition out. And so what we find literally across the board is that all of our clients really have this resilience, resourcefulness, and they're ready to work. And so I think we all know anyone can get a job, right? But keeping a job is the hard part. And so what we do is we really help them with that trauma-informed care and help them change those behaviors and that mindset, so that way they're going to be successful in employment once they get there. And we don't just stop once they get a job, we continue supporting them beyond that, because we want you to get a job and then we want you to advance. We want you to move up in your careers. So we continue offering them not just our client, but also the employers that we work with. We offer them support. So whether they are hitting a challenge or a roadblock, we help them so that way they can maintain their job, or we help them to give them the skills and opportunities to be able to advance to the next step in their careers.
Right, so we're talking about the employers now. I think it's really important for this group also to know about how they can get involved and what are some of the needs as you're ramping up this huge project.
No big deal.
And how all of us can really get involved in this with this organization and what resources you're needing.
Yeah, first and foremost, employer partners, right? So if your company is hiring, if you're open to interning, or like having interns, training our clients, anything like that, we're open to talk to you. In fact, Nicole Woodworth is my business development manager. She is here. We would love to talk to you. Obviously financials, so donations, sponsorships in kind. As we're building this center, we do need in kind donations and partners. Again, as we're developing this curriculum and programming, we also need all of you. So subject matter experts to help serve on our advisory committees to inform curriculum. Because it's great if I can say, we're hearing about AI. Truth be told, I know absolutely nothing about AI. So if we're trying to say we're trying to get these people into these jobs, right? These jobs are out there. If I write a curriculum and I don't know what that is, it doesn't help them, right? So we want you guys who are the experts from your various areas to come in and help us design these curriculum, so that way the people can get a job. And it truly create these employer partner or pipelines, if you will. We have tons of opportunities. So we have volunteer opportunities, people to come out and volunteer. We have our largest event of the year coming up in September at the Honda Center. We have an annual reentry resource fair. Last year attracted just around 600 people that come through. So we would love for you guys to come as a vendor, come talk to people if you're hiring or if you offer a service. We would love to have you there. And then, we're moving into our new center, so people can come do workshops and you name it. And at the very least, if you can't get involved somehow, you can follow us on social media, stay in touch. If you do know somebody that is hiring or maybe interested in this, please connect them to us. We would love to talk to them.
Repost and share.
So you're having me change these and I'm not even changing them. Okay.
It's repost and share, so please do follow them. Okay, so how can everyone here, because I know everyone's going to want to, get in touch with you so they can be of support to this wonderful program?
Yeah, definitely. So definitely check out our website. I will caveat the branding you see right now. We are also going through, in case we don't have enough on our plate, we're going through a logo change and branding change in the next couple of weeks. So if you go to our website, this is going to look a little different. But you can go to our website, which is hireoc.org. Call, email us. We do have an exhibit table out. Come visit my team. We would love to talk to you. Again, follow us on social media. And again, I would love for you guys to come by our table. I will do a shout out real quick. Actually, one of my staff is here. Is Hung here? He is here. So Hung, since we do have a minute left, I'm gonna tell Hung's story. So Hung, unfortunately had committed a crime as a youth. He was convicted at the age of 19 to life without parole. So when Hung was convicted with his sentence, he was not expecting to get out of prison. Due to laws change, and then also Hung really dedicating to change his life and his mindset, he was released after 23 years of incarceration. Since then, he works for us. He serves as one of our time mentors. So one of our programs is we have mentors that have lived experience that go back into the juvenile system and work with these youth. So youth that don't have familial support, they don't have reentry planning, anything like that, they work with them. And I challenge any of you just to go talk to Hung for literally a minute and tell me if you wouldn't hire him at your company. And please don't get any ideas because he works for me. But, but again, just to kind of give you an example of these are people that, yes, have made mistakes at one time in their life, but have really dedicated their lives to try to change their life around and to be competitive in the workplace and get out there and have that chance. And so, so we would definitely love to connect with you guys. Love to have you out for a tour. We would love to come out and visit you, learn about your company, and get you guys involved.
Thank you, Megan, so much. I am so glad you're here and able to share Hung's story and share your passion for this organization.
Thank you so much. Excited to connect with everybody.